Hello, Legionnaires, Centaurians, and other members of my Legion. Welcome. My name is Arcean, and I am the Angel of Objectivism. Today I thought about originally doing a general video about why assuming dog whistling on the behalf of your opponents is just a generally bad idea. This is after seeing a video by a man who calls himself Knowing Better. An ex-military, well, okay, he was in the Coast Guard, so let's just take that for what it is, declares that anybody he doesn't like is essentially dog whistling, or making some kind of comment that he finds offensive in some way, shape, or form for some particular reason, and is only supposed to be identified by the people in the know. It's a rather fallacious and stupid argument, and I decided to make a response video instead. Without further ado, let's get straight into it.
There are two ways to get ahead in life. You can make yourself look better, usually by doing better, or you can make others look worse. The former is considerably more difficult, so most people default to the latter. This is especially the case when whatever it is that you're doing, or whatever it is that you want to make look good, is indefensible.
Now, the reason why I showed that beginning clip is because I want you to remember something. He is an authoritarian. He constantly says that something is either inexcusable, or it simply should not exist. And I want you to remember that. He tries to play the voice of reason, but let's be honest, he is far from the voice of reason. Also, I want you to remember one more thing. His reasoning behind why someone might be the way they are is extremely subjective to the point of being laughable. But he'll constantly act as if his subjective opinion is the one true interpretation of everything. And that's something you get to see a lot. So, let's get into it.
Few people will outright deny that the Holocaust happened. There are those people, but they're easily debunked and dismissed, so they're not the ones I want to talk about. I want to talk about the people who secretly, and sometimes openly, wish that the Holocaust was more successful.
Wow, that is quite the slanderous statement you just made. I hope you can back it up with facts and evidence so you don't look like you have egg on your face.
It's usually a pretty hard sell to say something as brazen as the Holocaust was good. Most people are gonna slowly back away from you if you say something like that. So you have to switch gears when trying to make your side look better by saying something like, it wasn't that bad. This is the first step in making your ideas more palatable to the average person and to get them to question if maybe things have been exaggerated. Most people are against wholesale genocide, so the apologists have to reframe the deaths as not the main goal, but just a side effect. Here's the Auschwitz wasn't that bad narrative in action.
Auschwitz had a nice orchestra,
yeah,
soccer team.
They had a pool, they had a gym, they had a symphony orchestra. I mean, there's Mexicans in America that would kill for those living conditions. I mean, come on. Man, their clothes were nice and pest-free.
Now, let's go over what you just heard. If you're shocked or offended by anything you just heard, well, that was the point. You're supposed to be shocked and uncomfortable. This is known as gallows humor, a very dark sense of humor, of which is designed specifically to make you feel uncomfortable. It's designed to make you feel bizarre, and as a result, when you realize it's all just jokes, to just laugh it off. That's the point. In fact, this has oftentimes been used by soldiers. You know, the thing that this guy sort of was at one point when he was a part of the National Guard, you know, the little brother to the army. That's something that soldiers are taught to do in order to keep them calm in a time of war. And shock humor, also known as gallows humor, is something regularly used on the internet because the internet is the Wild West. It's designed to be uncontrolled. It's designed to be a place where you can essentially say what you want, knowing that it's going to be funny.
Now, a lot of that is actually true. They did have an orchestra and a soccer team and a swimming pool. But Auschwitz was a massive complex consisting of multiple camps with 3 major ones.
Now he goes on a bit of a tangent and starts explaining what Auschwitz was really like. I don't really feel that that's completely relevant to the conversation at hand, so you guys can go check it out for yourself. Link will be in the description.
One was a concentration camp for political prisoners, one was a factory labor camp, and the one that we all know, Auschwitz II-Birkenau, was the concentration and extermination camp. Guess which one didn't have any of those amenities? But he also threw one in there that you probably didn't catch unless you're in the know.
Man, their clothes were nice and pest-free.
Is he talking about the normal delousing that prisoners go through? Of course not. The gas used in the mass execution of human beings at the concentration camps was Zyklon B, which was invented in the 1920s as an insecticide. This is a dog whistle to Holocaust deniers.
So let's get something straight out of the way. Number 1. Dog whistles aren't always bad. The phrase okay actually comes from a group known as the Old Kinderhooks. The Old Kinderhooks were actually a fraternity that Benjamin Franklin was a part of. Believe it or not, the phrase okay was an indication that that person was a part of them. Eventually, it became a common term. That's a dog whistle. There are plenty of dog whistles in the world that are completely harmless, one of them being a lot of Freemasonry symbolry. The fact of the matter is this: dog whistles by themselves are harmless because they're just language. It's just an inside joke or some type of way of communicating someone some other kind of message. And there's nothing truly inherently wrong about them in their own states. Now, he's assuming, based on the fact that this is a dark humor show hosted by Andy Worski, a show that if you've ever watched, you'll know it has tons of dark humor. This show is something he's using as a symbol of a dog whistle. Well, that's rather hilarious, because this is simply his subjective interpretation. His subjective interpretation is different from mine. And yet, he's making a definitive statement that these people are the same as Holocaust deniers. Why? Because guilt by association seems to work more for the left nowadays.
Suggesting that the mass amounts of the chemical located at the camps was used for pest control and not what we all know it was used for. So it's worth asking, what is a dog whistle? In real life, it's a whistle that you blow that nobody else looking at you will hear except for the intended target, usually a dog. So when listening to their little discussion, you probably didn't hear any Holocaust denial among all of their jokes. But Holocaust deniers did, and that's a dog whistle.
Based on your very selective and biased interpretation. You know, considering how much of an authoritarian you are, maybe you and Adolf do have a lot more in common than you might have thought.
There are literally so many dog whistles that people have made hours of content exposing and explaining them. I've even done a few of them in the first few minutes of this video just to show how easily they fly under the radar.
And here's when we get into true subjectivity. The rest of the video plays out pretty much the exact same way, so I'll be dividing this into parts. But suffice it to say, we know what that symbol is. It could mean number 1. And then even on the next symbol, it's literally the A-OK sign. By the way, this original A-OK sign came completely from the Freemasons to mean 666. These things can mean basically whatever we want them to mean, and this just shows how subjective the opinion this guy has of everything in this video truly is, including that little frog you just saw there. Alright, my legion, it is very, very late at night, and I can't be fucked to watch the rest of his video at this time, so I'm going to divide it into parts, and I will make sure to follow up on this one for sure, because this one I'm really determined to get out. I hope you've enjoyed this video so far. I will see you again, my winged warriors. My name is Arsen, and I am the Angel of Objectivism. Signing off.